we are probably 13 to 18 months out. Here we go. Now they're going to start misquoting. You watch. You watch. And they'll get it all wrong. Write this date down. I'm going to go public as of this moment. Everybody out there, grab a pen and pencil. Just scratching, pen, pencil, whatever. October 18th. October 18th, 2016. I'm going to suggest and predict that on or about that exact date, a day before, a day after a date passed, that there will be the first proof of extraterrestrial landings in either Mexico City or Veracruz on the ocean, Pacific side, or in both simultaneously. And that will signal the beginning, excuse me, tight throat tonight. That'll be the beginning of the new line of communication being set. And then I do expect that there will be large contingencies of sighted craft. No more science fiction. No more HARP and all this other stupid stuff. It all has to end. They will simply make themselves known. They don't have to fire a shot to change things. All they have to do is make their appearance known. Maybe land a couple, but they don't have to fire a shot and wouldn't need to. I took a little slug of water, guys. Thank you. We are probably 12 months away from the start of what could be a quickly escalating series of earthquakes, which I believe will begin somewhere in the Kamchatka Peninsula area and going down the Pacific coast, tearing through Japan. I think there could be a severe earthquake there, very severe. And it'll keep on going. It'll start hedge hopping. What I believe is happening is that the core structure of the planet, now guys, get this right, is becoming more and more unstable, just like in one of these sci-fi movies. Isn't it amazing? We've already seen all the worst of the sci-fi movies, haven't we? 2012, when there's no escaping and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, no, it's not been that bad. You know, and don't try to make it like that. That's not what I'm doing.
Well, you know, there was just an 8.0 off of Alaska, right? I think it was today.
No, it's probably up on my screen on my emails. I get alerted by USGS on every earthquake 5.5 or above anywhere on the planet. And I now have about 400 recorded major earthquakes. And they've all created a pattern. And I think I want to write an article on it, but I don't know if I have the energy. We're nearing the tipping point. And once these earthquakes begin, it's going to set off the volcanoes. See, they go hand in hand together. And there are a number of volcanoes along this ring of fire that are already burning underneath, thousands of them. Did you know that there is more bad CO2 and sulfur releases and all these other poisonous gases? When an undersea volcano belches into life, it can cascade 100 tons of caustic gases into our atmosphere in one plume, and they go off hundreds every day. Yes, we have a changing problem with the Earth apparently seeming to warm. But it's not either warming or not warming. It's terribly confused. See, here we go. Everybody's going to jump all over this. Well, okay, don't like it, don't listen.
That's right.
How's that?
All right. I agree.
All right. I think that we are nearing a tipping point where the frequencies and the magnitudes and the patterns of these earthquake activities is about to become paramount in releasing a certain type of earth energy, in this case, volcanic, along with the earthquakes. I think it's just a bad timing for us. Now, one or more may not happen. If we escape both of them in a serious way, and we escape this going into 2016 without any major earthquakes or without losing any major cities, or you know, shipping on the ocean, tidal waves, stuff like that. If we get through this September 2016, then the landing will be in perfect timing and harmony. However, if we don't, and there is a series of earthquakes, then that timing period September 18th, 2016, becomes now even more important for reasons we don't yet totally understand. I don't yet know. I know when and where, but I'm not sure exactly why and to whom. I'm finding that out now.
Okay.
Now, Mexico is very important here, by the way. Mexico City, the entire city, is built upon a sinking lake bed from prehistoric times. The ETs, I believe, will try to be doing some earth stabilizing technique to stop the sinking, because if it continues, it's going to gobble up most of the interior of Rome in about 100 years, gone forever, beneath the sand. So, if this works, it'll be a demonstration. I'm going way out on a limb here. It's a demonstration of their goodwill toward helping man. Now, Mexico has been extremely friendly to the entire UFO community and world and newspapers and TV and news. It's a common thing in Mexico. Everybody knows there's flying saucers. Everybody sees them. If you don't believe me, just go out.
Oh, I do believe you. I've seen my own. I mean, you know.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right. So where are we going with this? Real simple. I think that we're headed for a very rough period, which could be good, bad, or really ugly. Because the storms, as you said earlier in your opening, storms are still getting worse, and so are the tornadoes. We're getting tornadoes now when we shouldn't get tornadoes. Not really. Which leads me to John's work. Okay, we got that segue. That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure it was going to work. Okay. You see, we are vulnerable people. We do have to take second thoughts about things we say and places we go. All right. This is under date by John. This is by John Bernardo, a good friend and I believe, a respected writer and researcher. Do you mind if I give out his? I guess can I do that? Give out his.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Website?
Give out any information you like. Sure.
I think. Ask John if he'll add you to his daily newsletters. They're fabulous.
Oh, he keeps me updated all the time. So.
Well, listen. Can you post it then? You've got it.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Why don't you post it for everybody? Then we don't have to waste time on it right now. Okay. All right. This is posted on Saturday, June 21st, 2014 at 9:54 a.m. This is when he posted this entry. It's entitled, "Why the Geomagnetosphere is Collapsing." Now, that's pretty damn scary, isn't it? What is a geomagnetosphere in the first place? Well, it goes into what the central core of the Earth's dynamo machine is thought to be a solid piece of inner core that's been forced off its normal center point. And therefore, that solid inner core, which would look, okay, let's pretend it's an huge iron bowling ball, okay, has been revolving rather than rotating within Earth's molten outer core. Okay, stop there. Earth's molten outer core. So right there we understand that the Earth's core is magma right off the bat. And now it's even more important because they've been finding an increased movement of magma flows in all of these major earthquakes. Very important. Okay. What's happening is, and I'm going to veer off his script for a second. What's happening is that our sun is still undergoing a series of miscommunicating power surges that have been driving at toward and around the sun now for about 12 years, up real close. This goes back to the original thing in the book. Okay, let me say a quick thing about the book. If any of your audience out there has not yet had a chance to pick up my book, I'm offering them at only $14.95 plus $2 shipping and handling, and you get the book for less than half price, and I'll sign it. I'll let you read the book. Everything we talk about in that book, Michael, you've given many of them away.
Yes, I have.
Every single thing we spoke about has come about mostly within and on time, on schedule, including this period that we're talking about right now. All of this is covered in the book.
Well,
the past, present, and future tense. I tried to bring it together. Mind you, I have been researching this book for about 10, 11 years. It took 7 years to write it, so that's 17 years. You know how it all began? By a cave painting in a snake-infested cave in Yucatan in 1978, which I was an expedition member. I very rarely talk about this. The person I was with was a very famous anthropologist, map maker, psychologist, insectologist. He had like 6 PhDs, and he found out where Quetzalcoatl's tomb was. And there we were. It's at 4:30 in the afternoon, and there was a curse. It said, "You must be out at sundown. You cannot get caught in Quetzalcoatl's cave past sundown. Sure death." That was the thing. That was the rumor. And it was there on the wall while they're doing their thing. Of course, Quetzalcoatl wasn't there, but there was evidence he was there. Paintings and all kinds of stuff, and some relics, which we didn't touch. I saw this map thing to scale of this object that appears to be coming toward the solar system. These were like little pictures, like little pictographs. And if you really looked at them and your eyes moved, you could see this object, these are little paintings of this object coming toward our solar system, whipping out behind the back of the sun and back out again. And then it went out into what looked like a void, these pictograph paintings. And we were not allowed to have any cameras. That was the agreement with the Indians. These were the real descendants of the Incas and the Aztecs. By the way, they are now not that much different, the two cultures. I tried to cement it in my mind, and then when I linked it up with chapter 8 in the Book of Revelation, which is all the trial and tribulation that Mother Earth will go through at this point in time, so many years out from the start of the tribulation, that it all suddenly came together. You see, I had this wall. I remember I was in my apartment in Colorado, and I had this white wall, and I knew how to plaster little holes, you know. So I had this wall full of cue cards and pictures and pieces of this and that story, all about Wormwood and this Planet X and this thing that they call the dwarf brown star, and went on and on and on, and I got all of this evidence. And suddenly, it started to come together like a picture. It was Michael, this was one of the most magical, special moments that I can remember, is one afternoon, I suddenly looked, I breathed into the living room, because it was on the living room wall, and I stopped, and I looked, and I turned around, and I looked again, and suddenly, I saw what was slowly coming together in bits and pieces. It was like looking at a map of the United States with, 3/4 of the states filled in. I'm using that as an example, okay? And I said, I know exactly what this thing is. And I went to town, and I filled in all the blanks, and I knew exactly where to look, because each clue that I had engaged me to keep going until the next clue. But every time I uncovered a major clue, which I covered, see, stupid remarks they make about the book, they've never read it. Most of the things they say about the book are not true because it never appeared in the book. All kinds of wild claims. The earth was going to absolutely be ripped apart, and there would be nothing left, and no human being would survive. I don't know where the hell they got that from. So, most of these rabid fans, and I'm sure, and I don't mean that too disrespectfully, that really hate the book have never read it. You can't hate something that's absolute truth based on years of research. By the way, every single chapter has its own bibliography, page number, section number, publishing date, publisher, everything. Everything in there can be checked out. I dare you to go after one fact and prove it wrong based on my bibliography. You do that and you find one, you bring it to me. and I'll make corrections. Okay? And anybody out there, I just challenge you. I get these ridiculous statements attributed to this object, which people don't know if they say Planet X. Let's jump right in there real quick. Let the other thing go now, okay? While I'm doing that, I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Good. Okay, Planet X is not a planet. Planet X is a brown dwarf star. It's been called Planet X because that's the acronym that most people have put to it over the years. There are hundreds and hundreds of books and magazines and articles and emails to articles and pictures and calculations out there supporting this thing, this phenomenon called Planet X. I didn't invent it. I didn't start it. NASA did, Michael. NASA called it Planet X.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Where would this Planet X be now? Because that's what people are asking.
Right now.
Right.
I believe that it's already made its path behind the sun. We can't see it. It's too late now to see it. It's already on its way back out. It's being flung back out from behind our sun, out into its long 1,800-year elliptical journey to the black and blue giant, the big guide star, and then back again, once again, 3,600 years later, back it comes. So now I believe it's on its way out, and as it's winging its way out, and yes, it does, by the way, the article, the stupid things they said in that, I'm going back to that garbage. Of course, Planet X has debris fields, probably a huge one, pushing and pulling, and even on the sides. It doesn't have to be just pushing, pulling. It can be dragging in all directions. Okay? Yes. How stupid not to think that. And it's exciting our sun as it's letting go of its agitation of it over the past 12 years. And the worst of it came and went, I think. We may have escaped a really bad situation earlier. Doesn't mean it's over entirely.
But it would have to be out of our solar system at this point, right? Or would...
It never was in. That's another fallacy. It was never in the solar system. It approached it and went up and around the entire solar system, up and over and around the backside of the sun. It's a little technical. Okay. Now, the important thing is that as this celestial body, I believe, my own calculations, I believe it's about the size of Saturn, but 60 times Saturn's mass because of what it once was. I believe that this thing called Planet X, this brown dwarf star, here we go, Michael, the knives are going to come out. Watch. I can hear them ripping already. I believe that this little brown dwarf star, about the size of Saturn, was actually a child of the sun, so to speak. It was a young baby star that was in the process of becoming a fusion star like its mother, if I can talk in, kindergarten terms. And when this disaster happened about 4.5 to 5 billion, 5.5 billion years ago, this giant asteroid comes crashing through the plane of the ecliptic. I'm going to run the whole thing, Michael, in 2 minutes. Smashes through the plane of the ecliptic, taking out several of the outer planets. One of them was probably a planet called Marduk, which was a large rocky planet situated between Mars and Jupiter. And that's curiously where there is a huge field of rock and debris. And everyone comes to the conclusion that something had to be there. Yeah, there was a planet there. And what's left now is this huge debris field. Okay?
All right. Well, Dr. Rand, I seem to have lost you. So this will probably be a good time to go into a break. And then I will bring Dr. Rand back on with me. Kind of strange. And then we'll take some calls. 803-317-2264. We'll hang up on you. So, you're welcome to ask questions, but accusations, no. So if you got questions, fine. All right. So with that, and Dr. Rand, I'm not saying that because there's a bunch of people who are, saying stuff in chats or anything. I just got to make that clear sometimes. So
that's okay. Everybody's got an opinion.
That's right. That's right. All right.
So
So
I'd like to hear their opinion. If they present it that way, I say, okay, let me think about that.
right.
Make
And
sense?
it does. And lines are open, 803-317-2264. I know David Koss just tried calling in, and he dropped. So, David, if you want to call back in, I'll take your call. But, okay, he's calling in now. So we've got David. Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. Hey, David, welcome aboard.
Hello, Michael. I just was fascinated by your guest, Dr. Rand, this evening. I really enjoyed listening to him. Hey, Doctor.
Hi. How you doing, sir?
Excellent, excellent. I had a few questions that I wanted to ask you just about the orbital proximity of this planetary encounter that everyone's been talking about, and there's so much hubbub about. I was just wondering, in your opinion, since you stated that it might be a 3-year window that it could be approaching us, do you know how close it's going to come?
Yes. In order to answer your question, I'll cut right to the chase. How's that, buddy? Okay?
Oh, excellent.
All right. Now, it's present day in June. What, 23rd? 24th? 23rd. Tomorrow's election day, 23rd. It's 23rd tomorrow. We will be at a point where I will know one way or the other these new time portals and how they all work into the equation. My time portal is as this. I'm going to go back to the September 18th, 2016 date. That's always my anchor date. Anything forward or backward, I'll let you know. Like, AD and BC. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this object, this celestial phenomenon, which should rightfully be called wormwood, as dictated to us in chapter 8, verse 11 of the book of Revelation, and I'm quoting, "In the name of the star was wormwood." It's right there in Scripture. It's good enough for me to understand that that was the name that the ancients gave to it. I didn't come up with the name like some people have accused me of. Come on, guys. Long before me, there was a wormwood way, way back. I just reported on the facts. That's all. I brought the story up to date. That's what the Return of Planet X is. It's a biography of the planet's attempt to deal with this object about every 3,600 years. So what I did is, in the book, I broke it down. I looked at it from religion and from science and pseudoscience and legend and books and pictographs and cave paintings and prehistoric bones and everything. And then, of course, if you remember right, I had that sighting, that thing I visioned in the cave, Quetzalcoatl's tomb. I really didn't finish about that story anyway. They did what they had to do, and then just as we were finishing up what they were doing, I think they were taking pictures illegally, I'm not sure. The Mexican police routed us out of there. Like, Gringo, come on, because the Federales had found out that we were taken there by the Native Americans, and it caused a huge problem. We barely got out of the Yucatan. I'm telling you, it was exciting. Oh my God! I mean, it was just like cops and robbers. Everybody had guns and machetes, and it was like, ah! This is the Mexicans for you, Mm-hmm. And that was back in 1978. So anyway, I go back to what I saw on the wall, and I realized all the pieces. That was the image. That's all that I needed. Remember, I told you I had all these pieces of evidence and 3 or 5 business cards and newspaper, all kinds of stuff, hundreds and maybe thousands on across the wall. That's what it all pointed to. It made sudden, absolute sense. And then, of course, NASA makes their proclamation. We don't have to go into that. Although, I found something very interesting. Yeah, let me do this. This will be fun. By the way, I'm happy to take any calls, please.
All right, well, we have one now, and I guess people are asking in the chat, so how close... Now, you said this thing was on its way back out, and obviously there's questions...
Yeah, it's on its way back out. Yeah, let me address that real quick. Where is it exactly as of today? It's already on its inborn course, has already rounded the solar system. That's what took 12 years, causing disruption to all of the. As it went, it caused all the planets to waver. It's because of its huge magnetic forces, like magnets, back and forth. And it has now completed its pathway up and under the sun. That's why early on it was fairly visible in places like Argentina and the tip of South America. There are many, many, many photos. Do not assume, people. Do not assume that the biggest observatories in the world don't have pictures. How naive.
Well, I've just seen a video on the YouTube recently about a observation post put on Antarctica that shows a picture of something quite large just off the edge of the sun. And is that a picture of it leaving our solar system?
It's possible, of course, having not seen the photograph, but I've seen many pictures such as you've described, and if it's how I think I see it from you telling me, yes, it's probably one of those genuine photographs.
All right,
it's just one of the most uncanny, sir. I cannot explain it. Why the international press, not one person in NASA questioned any of that. Why?
Well, you know what I think? I believe that there's been a lot of deep underground military bases built with tube shuttles in the United States as well as around the world in the last 50 years. And the reason for that, I understand they have underground grow gardens and whatnot for places for our elite to scamper to in case this Planet X does come and cause all kinds of havoc. But this agenda...
So she's on her way out. Here's
right.
The good news.
That's the good news.
But she's on her... She's, I call her, Wormwood. She's on her way out now.
Right. But this Agenda 21 that they're talking about, which is the removal of 90% of the Earth's populace by 2029, would point me in the direction of actually believing that these Greys are at one of these deep underground military bases near Dulce, New Mexico, and they're intending to cut down our population to the size where they can control it. And that's the purpose of these underground military bases in all the states now.
Well, that's a heavy indictment. Wow.
Well, what I understand is they're kidnapping our children, ages 3 to 12, and taking them there to drain their pituitary glands of hormonal extract to mix with chemicals to feed themselves and their young. And this is the reason they want to curtail our populace to like I say, 10%, so they can just use the children that are that age and take them from them and hook them to these drainage machines. So that's the purpose of the.
Have they produced any evidence to this effect?
Well, only the fact that we're missing 250,000 children in the last 10 years, and the pedophiles can't be blamed for all that, and especially when you question where the bones are or whatever. There's no bones and there's no remains, and where are all these children disappearing to? So, with the move in of the Monsanto and HARP and the military wanting to take away all our guns and whatnot, it just all points in that direction to me with, like I say, this Agenda 21 coming down through our governmental agencies. Mm-hmm. So that's what worries me and has made me, question a lot of facts and figures.
There's good news and bad news with that, sir.
Right.
The good news is they may not get the chance.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
We may be hit so hard they'll get jolted in the face because it could come at any moment.
Right.
Now, the bad end of that is whomever or wherever the destruction hits is going to have a very rough time, because I assure you, I went through the earthquake sequence in Northridge in Studio City in 1994. I was in a building that came down. We had to dig us out, so I know.
I was living in Venice, California, and I remember that as well.
Were you, sir? Look at that.
Yes.
I was right there in Studio City. I got pounded by two earthquakes at the same time, crisscrossing each other.
Well, the 10 freeway
was the
fell.
truth of what happened.
Yeah, the 10 freeway fell.
Did you know that FEMA and LA pulled off the biggest scam in history? Do you know that was a 7.8? And you know what they turned it into?
What?
A 6.8. Anything over 7, every single citizen would have had to be given $5,000 on the spot. That's the law.
You felt the tremors for like 3 days every hour.
Oh yeah.
I felt.
I
Like
couldn't
the
go
whole
back.
house
Our
would
building.
shake. The whole house would shake.
Oh yeah.
A couple minutes for 3 days.
I had to sneak in to get my computer. And
Doc, can you hear me? Oh, all right. First off, you got to turn the show off in the background there, and hold on. We've got to get Dr. Rand back on. I don't know what's going on here. I took the call and it muted him. So let me add him back in here. And oh shoot, let's see here. All right, let's call him back. Certain people, when they call, it
Call
happens.
has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Well, hold on a second, folks. Trying to get Dr. Rand back on here. Let's try this again.
hello, Michael. They did it again.
Yeah, I went to answer. We have another call that came in. I went to answer it, and they put you on hold for some reason. I don't know why, but
Well, it went dead.
Yeah, I did. So we've got
All right.
we've got another caller here that I'd like to bring
Okay.
in, but I want to let you finish up with Dave really quick. Dave, anything else? I mean, where were you guys?
Well, I was trying to explain that on or about that date, I think that these perturbations that are causing the sun so much distress. Remember, everything and anything that affects the sun in turn affects not only us, but everything else in the solar system. We seem to think that it's only our planet having all these disturbances and weather and natural disasters and earthquakes and storms, and I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Yes, we are in big trouble, but we don't quite know it yet. Now, I gotta go political for a second here. I sure as heck hope that we get this thing right in November. That's all I want to say.
I have no faith in the political system whatsoever, but you know that.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you for the first time. I think that the American public, notice I said the American public, I don't give regions, I don't go color, I don't go race, I don't go ethnicity. The American people, I think, are really pissed off.
May I say something?
Yes, of course you can, sir.
I believe that the 19 to 35 age group will make the difference in this coming election. If they all vote,
absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
If they all vote together with a write-in ballot, so as to bypass the Diebold machine, so the recount will convince our electoral college of their vote, they could vote in the first independent candidate with the party nationofchange.org. And this is what could very well happen if we all rally together, because it's the 19 to 35 age group voters that could do this. No other age group could landslide the election.
Right. Absolutely. I want to dip back in. I want to finish up about what's going on with the sun, because we got distracted.
Yeah, let's finish up with the sun, and then let's
so
take our next
everybody
call.
Stay on. Everybody that's on, stay on. We've got about another 13 to 18 months to endure whatever the planet throws at it. I'm being very general right now. Let's hope that we don't get really bad tornadoes. Let's hope that we're not going to have any extreme flooding. Let's hope there won't be any. I'm going to run down. Let's hope that there's no major earthquakes anywhere on the planet, and that we don't lose. That we do not lose. Thank God. We do not want to lose one American city, much less any world city. We don't want that to happen. And we don't want there to be fires and earthquakes and landslides and sinkholes and weather aberrations, and I can go on and on and on. I'd like Michael to post this synopsis of events by John DiNardo, and I think, rather than me sit here and quote and quote and quote, I think everyone should read it. You don't have to believe it, but why don't you give it a read? He makes more sense, not a little technical, because John is very accomplished. He has a great resume. He's a good writer and a good friend and a good blogger. Puts out some wonderful pieces. I think everybody should sign on to his website, okay? And you have it listed, all right? Now, let me jump back into present-day moment. What the heck is going on? We are probably 13 to 18 months out. Here we go. Now they're going to start misquoting. You watch. You watch. And they'll get it all wrong. Write this date down. I'm going to go public as of this moment. Everybody out there, grab a pen and pencil. Just scratching, pen, pencil, whatever. October 18th. October 18th, 2016. I'm going to suggest and predict that on or about that exact date, a day before, a day after a date passed, that there will be the first proof of extraterrestrial landings in either Mexico City or Veracruz on the ocean, Pacific side, or in both simultaneously. And that will signal the beginning, excuse me, tight throat tonight. That'll be the beginning of the new line of communication being set, and then I do expect that there will be large contingencies of sighted craft. No more science fiction, no more HARP and all this other stupid stuff. It all has to end. They will simply make themselves known. They don't have to fire a shot to change things. All they have to do is make their appearance known. Maybe land a couple, but they don't have to fire a shot, and wouldn't need to. I took a little slug of water, guys. Thank you. We are probably 12 months away from the start of what could be a quickly escalating series of earthquakes, which I believe will begin somewhere in the Kamchatka Peninsula area and going down the Pacific coast, tearing through Japan. I think there could be a severe earthquake there, very severe. And it'll keep on going. It'll start hedge hopping. What I believe is happening is that the core structure of the planet, now guys, get this right, is becoming more and more unstable, just like in one of these sci-fi movies. Isn't it amazing? We've already seen all the worst of the sci-fi movies, haven't we? 2012, when there's no escaping and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, no, it's not been that bad, you know, and don't try to make it like that. That's not what I'm doing.
Well, you know, there was just an 8.0 off of Alaska, right? I think it was today.
No, it's probably up on my screen, on my emails. I get alerted by USGS on every earthquake 5.5 or above anywhere on the planet. And I now have about 400 recorded major earthquakes. And they've all created a pattern. And I think I want to write an article on it, but I don't know if I have the energy. We're nearing the tipping point. And once these earthquakes begin, it's going to set off the volcanoes. See, they go hand in hand together. And there are a number of volcanoes along this ring of fire that are already burning underneath, thousands of them. Did you know that there is more bad CO2 and sulfur releases and all these other poisonous gases? When an undersea volcano belches into life, it can cascade 100 tons of caustic gases into our atmosphere in one plume, and they go off hundreds every day. Yes, we have a changing problem with the Earth apparently seeming to warm, but it's not either warming or not warming. It's terribly confused. See, here we go. Everybody's going to jump all over this. Well, okay, don't like it, don't listen.
That's right.
How's that?
All right. I agree.
All right. I think that we are nearing a tipping point where the frequencies and the magnitudes and the patterns of these earthquake activities is about to become paramount in releasing a certain type of Earth energy, in this case, volcanic, along with the earthquakes. I think it's just a bad timing for us. Now, one or more may not happen. If we escape both of them in a serious way, and we escape this going into 2016 without any major earthquakes or without losing any major cities, or shipping on the ocean, tidal waves, stuff like that. If we get through this September 2016, then the landing will be in perfect timing and harmony. However, if we don't, and there is a series of earthquakes, then that timing period, September 18th, 2016, becomes now even more important for reasons we